grass.
He's grass. He is a grass.
Who's the grass?
He's CR7.
He's a snitch, isn't he? Surely he's a snitch.
He's a snitch still.
Basically.
Inside
Context-wise now, ladies, if you might tap in or tap out, it depends. It's up to you. Just make sure you like and subscribe, regardless.
Now, ladies, this
was
was for you because this is what some of you do to your friends.
Yeah.
Listen, hey, we talking that shit tonight.
Some of you ain't even ready for this conversation.
Some of you ain't ready. Take what you can.
All right. So loyalty was put into question earlier this week. Earlier this week. So we had Mr. CR7 Cristiano Ronaldo. As those who don't know, he is back in the Premier League. Maybe for those who's like, where's Ronaldo been? He's actually back. He's been back for 2 years now, isn't it? So he's in the second season in. Obviously, we know there's a little turmoil behind what's going on behind the scenes, but we don't know any information. On tour recently, Cristiano Ronaldo's now done an interview, one-on-one, only a one-on-one interview with none other than Piers Morgan, everybody's favorite correspondent. So, obviously, if you don't know about Piers Morgan, Good Morning Britain, all of that.
Yeah, do your Googles.
Do your Googles and you'll find them in it. So he's done a one-on-one interview now, and he's basically put out like all his feelings towards how he feels with Man United.
Yeah.
He's put a lot more extra detail than most people didn't expect to see or hear. Boom. We got 2 Man United fans in the building. Obviously, man's gonna hear the thoughts.
The biggest.
See it. So that's what I really wanted to know in terms of how you lot's thought processes. Now, you said he crossed the line.
Yeah, I personally think he only crossed one line, bro. I'm going to keep it on. The line I think he's crossed is going against the manager and saying that he doesn't respect the manager of the football club. I think that is that's a non-negotiable. You can't do that. Because number one, that's just another man. And number two, it's your manager. This is the person that's supposed to be necessarily the head of your team. You are part of a team that's supposed to be cohesive. Kind of like what Jonny was talking about off the pod in terms of there could be turmoil going on at another club. You don't turn against your team, innit? You don't turn against your manager. You don't turn against the coaching staff. You don't turn against the players. You don't turn against them. Like, you lot have to work together to make that right. And for me, that's the only line that he crossed. I feel like, and unless Jonny's about to tell me some other shit that he said that I didn't catch, but from what I do know, and I've heard him say a lot of things, that's the line he crossed that I was like, okay, that's a problem. The other stuff is more based on opinion, whether you like it or whether you don't. Do you get me? Whether he's allowed to say this or not. It's just the fact that he's Ronaldo and he's so big, it's going to make such a massive impact. Whereas if another player said some of the shit he said, you lot ain't really batting an eye like that. But because it's Cristiano, it's like, yo, what are you doing? Like, you're saying this to 200 million people. Like, relax. But if it was someone else, you get me, you got only a couple million followers, it's like, oh, he said something mad. Okay, what's next?
So for me, there's a few things that annoyed me, or not annoyed, disappointed me. Yeah. One is he knows the type of reaction he's gonna get. This is a media ploy.
Do you feel like he was planned as well, right
It's
before
planned,
the World
it's
Cup?
propaganda's planned. And the thing is, he's now in a place where, for me, it looks like he realised he's on a decline, but he wants to bring others down with him. So, obviously, first season, he done his thing, partly under Oli, and then the rest under Ten Hag.
Yeah.
And he done his thing. Yeah, it's not like he done his thing for obviously
Under Ralph Rangnick and then
Ralph Rangnick. Sorry, yeah. He didn't say nothing then when he came.
When he was doing his thing.
When he was doing his thing. When he saw the crack in the swimming pool that he said.
Yeah, niggas is cool and they up.
Saw the same.
The only thing he did say, of course, was just about like how, you know, he would like to be in Champions League and it's like, you know.
Yeah, that's calm. We would like to be in Champions League.
Yeah,
That's mine, man. You get me?
Yeah.
Player can come out, listen, we're not good enough, we should be in Champions League. That's the truth, you get me? You can come out and say that. But I'm talking about the dirty laundry. You get me?
Cleaners and that.
You got personal on this one.
Cooks and that.
You get me? The dirty laundry, like, brother,
Airing
first
out
season he's
business.
come,
He was airing out business.
babies, telling them man about, listen, we have cracks in our swimming pool and shit. That is
We ain't even got no technology in
that's
that.
unacceptable, fam. Someone said he walked in and saw the same machine Roy Keane used to fix his knee. Cuz. That's peak, cuz.
Yeah, it's peak. It's peak.
You can't be saying that.
But I
you're-
don't think it's crossing the line, in my opinion.
No, but you're making us. It's crossing the principle line, not like against the rules.
Would
It's
you
crossing
see
the
him doing this
principle
under Fergie?
line. Exactly. It's like, for
Facts.
example, like, listen, don't forget what Man United done for you.
Facts.
For everything you've achieved, Started with Man United.
That same swimming pool and jacuzzi you was recovering in there when you was 21.
This made you. So you can't now come with all your success and glory, turn around and now look back at the club or look down at the club like we're some little. We're not a little club, you get me? We're Man United, yeah. And the second thing is, like, he said a whole lot of something, ultimately not saying nothing. Because what is he saying? Like, what's the whole point of this? Do you get me?
That's what I was thinking.
So let me put it into context. Like a few months ago, came out and said he wants to leave. Or rumors and reports came out and said he wants to leave. He never came out and said himself, specifically, but he came out and said he wants to leave. Yeah.
I didn't hear him deny it, though.
He never denied it.
Right.
And there was also reports that his agent was going to other clubs trying to get a deal for him, going to Napoli, going to all these other clubs. There was potentially he's going to go back to Juventus. Like, all these clubs don't want him. They don't want him. Why? Because one, his salary expectation is too high. Not everyone can afford him. But two, teams are kind of moved past Ronaldo, as in we'll move, like, no one really wants to. You're not at a stage of your career where we're now going to build a team around you. And Ronaldo is that kind of player that you need to build a team around him. That's the only way he's going to play well. Ronaldo's not the person who's going to, like, Messi is different. You get me? Neymar and them, and they're different. They're going to do their thing regardless. But Ronaldo, the team needs to be geared towards him to win. So the chance ends with Ronaldo. You get me? Play, pass, get the ball out wide, cross it to Ronaldo. Play, get the ball over the top to Ronaldo. Like, it's all to, you get me? That's when you say the team's built for this person. Ten Hag is trying to change that. You get me? Trying to change that, and it's needed because Man United has been the team without identity for how long? Yeah. So he's trying to establish this new identity. Ronaldo is 36, 37, turning 38.
37,
you can't build, it's too risky to build a team around you when you're about 5 years from retirement. That means that success is going to be short-lived. No shade, look at Liverpool. Your whole team was built towards Salah and Mane. Mane's left, now Salah's like, rah, this whole new dynamic, we're going to need some time to get it back to where it was. Do you get me? Whereas Man City, they're built on a system.
Where it doesn't matter what the pieces are.
Exactly, it doesn't matter who is in this team.
Yeah. This is how you play.
This is how you play. And if you can't play like that,
then you're gone.
You're gone. We don't care how much we spent for you. Mangala, they bought a centre-back for 40 mil. Gone. They bought Danilo for like 40 mil or 30 mil. Yeah. Gone. They bought bare players, bro.
Bare players run through that team still.
Bare players came, went.
Otamendi, bare man.
Bruv, they had players like Negredo, Jesus Navas, Jesus, or whatever his name is.
Yeah, he says Navas.
All them man there, gone. Sterling, gone. Like, you get me?
Yeah.
So now you're looking at the real, true template, and this is what Arteta's kind of trying to create at
Arsenal, yeah.
Whereas, like, you're creating a template where it's about the team. You get me? Everyone's joining here to make the team successful.
Yeah.
You get me? So your team success comes first. Whether you're happy or not, whether you're not happy. Now, I was saying, Ronaldo, first year, everyone's going good. Didn't hear a peep, didn't hear a word. They say nothing. Second, now he's not. We all seen the issues. He's not playing where he is. And there's been occasions where in public, the manager himself has backed Ronaldo.
Yeah.
The manager could have come when he walked out. He could have said, yeah, I didn't tell Ronaldo. No, listen, man, we'll deal with that internally. You get me? Or there was another time where he walked out and the manager said, oh, yeah, like, he had an injury or like he gave, but really and truly he did Ronaldo done his own thing. So the manager's come out and publicly backed you yourself, made you captain the last time you played, and you've come out and then you've just gone against the team, the manager, everything on that mad thing. That's my issue. Second issue is the person you chose to have this interview with.
Piers.
Someone who's not in the slightest partial.
He's an op, fam.
He's a op, bruv. You get me? He's a major op.
Yeah.
Especially to the culture of him. He's an op. Like, the whole Meghan Markle thing, like the Brexit thing, like so many things. He's just always been on the wrong side of the fence from our perspective.
Yeah.
And now for Ronaldo or for him to facilitate this, and if you have watched the interview, as I said, there's bare assists, there's bare alley-oops going on, where there wasn't one statement where he's challenged Ronaldo, like, or just ask him a direct question. Like, do you want to leave? You get me? Like, so many, like, I think this whole situation can just be answered, like, do you want to leave? Yes or no? Yes. Okay, cool. Boom, you want to leave. Now we know, Now we know how to act. We don't need to then be cheering your name and like, bro, you want to leave. You get me? But you don't have to like create all this palaver just to leave. Because at the end of the day, he's doing this to force his way out of United.
It seems like that's what it is to me. It just seems like you want everything to go against you.
It's a very bad idea.
Yes, it's terrible for the. And I'll let you finish, bro. But
no, you're going to say the same thing.
Because it's terrible. Because from what I'm about to say is, that's a club that nurtured you, grew you to where you've got to, and helped you, and then of course and accepted you and welcomed you back lovingly. Your next club is going to be looking at you funny now, because like if you did that to them lot, we better make sure we roll out the red carpet for you, because if we don't make you right, get the number you get your number 7.
Make sure the towels
perfect. Bro, perfect.
And this ain't even me siding with him. I'm just saying, for a viewer who's probably watched that, the only devil's advocate I'll probably say will throw at him is the fact that he also feels himself that he's been betrayed by United.
How can you be?
And that's the thing.
That's where it's like how
exactly.
Like how betrayed in what way? Like what was he owed? Basically?
So he felt like obviously there was things where they were going against him. So I think he said something about how like they didn't believe that he had family requirements outside of games and whatnot. So he felt like there was always going to be like push a narrative like, listen, this guy is not as going to be as genuine as he says he is, and so
he said his exact words was he felt.
Yeah, he felt betrayed.
Because as I said, I said this earlier that like when he came out and said, I'm gonna say the truth. It's not the truth. It's his truth. This is his experience. This is or his perspective of things. You get me? And like that specific quote that you just said, the exact words was when his daughter was ill, he had family issues. He felt that Man United didn't believe him. And obviously you can take what you can from that. If United's made him feel that way, then yes, we need to take ownership, especially when there's like a family situation. Because you don't know, like I think his wife had a miscarriage earlier in the year. There's bare stuff where it's really personal, where it's like, okay, cool, like you get me, give him the space that you need. You get me? But at the end of the day, I'm looking like, okay, at the end of the day, be realistic, because you yourself know that there's certain people that would pretend to like you when they don't, just in order to get close to you. And you yourself should know that just from the way your life has gone, turned out, and the type of following you have. That's number one. Number two, no one at a club, there's not one player that every single person at the club likes you. Do you get me? That's not, you're not here to be liked by everyone at this club. You're here to win trophies.
However, there is a duty of care that an establishment or club is then owed to their players. Do you get me? So like, for example, yes, that madness happened during the summer. One kid's ill, one kid dies, and then gets birthed another kid. This is a madness that's going on in this guy's life. And I think from our perspective to his, from his perspective to us, like, yo, I know my life might seem perfect. Like I'm Ronaldo, good looking, businesses, money, baller, probably one of the greatest that's ever lived. But I'm going through some shit, and you lot are looking at me like, yeah, that's cool. So basically, are you coming in late? It's like, no, listen to me. I know I've never really been in a situation where I'm vulnerable or I'm down or I'm in a bad situation. I'm in a bad situation. I need you to take what I'm saying seriously.
Do you know I can see that, yeah, it's because there was a report not time ago, but fairly recently, that came out, and you know there's I forgot his name, but there's this basically he's Ronaldo's psychologist or one of his therapists, yeah. I'll get his name for you. But basically, he had a session with Ronaldo, and he's like, yeah, Ronaldo is not okay, fam. Like with everything that's happening internally with his family and that, he's not okay. He's probably putting the front like he's okay because he's had to do that his whole life because of the following and the media attention he has. But deep down, man's like, he's going through some, you get me, going through some shit. And I think this is probably one of the ways that it's manifested. But at the same time, he has to then look at his family and the people he keeps close to him and be like, was this the right advice given? Especially from his agent. Because we also know the things that's happened previously. His agent tried to get him a move in January. And it didn't work out because no club was interested. And now he's in a place like, wait, since when has no club ever been interested? So he kind of feels like, the clubs out there don't like me. Now Man United, now he feels like now Man United don't even like
Everyone's
me.
against him.
Now I need to come out and say something. But I think the whole thing's been handled wrong.
Yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess. It is a mess.
Do you feel like it's kind of like that Chris Brown dilemma a little bit?
Brown?
Remember when Chris Brown had it, obviously, T-Pain said about how his whole life he's known, what was it, the Princess dilemma?
Princess syndrome.
It's Princess syndrome.
So
like he's been loved.
And the one time it doesn't work, outrage. So basically with Chris Brown, dropped his album, like his most recent album actually. It didn't do so well. First week sales, 2 week sales, whatever. It didn't really do so well as his other albums.
His name was Jordan Peterson.
Oh, and that's the therapist of Ronaldo, yeah.
One
of them, yeah. So basically, so Chris Brown dropped an album, didn't really go so well, and I was like, okay, cool. Let's look at Chris Brown. Chris Brown is a kid was a kid when he first blew up. He was like 16 on the scene, smash hits after smash hits for basically for a decade straight, and some change. And then now he's dropped something, and then it's not gone as well as he wanted it to be. Goes on Twitter and basically starts slamming his fans like, "Yo, you lot want music from me? You lot ain't even patterning." And he was sticking it, and everyone was like, "Yo, what's wrong with him?" And then T-Pain went on this stream and was like, "It's probably the Princess syndrome. Like, look at Chris Brown. Everything he ever touched was hot, and then now that it's not for the first time ever, he don't know how to deal with it." So that does align with Ronaldo as well. And I think a lot of things are going on with Ronaldo at the same time. Again, like the thing with the summer. And then, of course, being a Man United's not winning. It's like that stress ball. And it's like he can't affect it if he's not on the pitch. So now it's like I have no control over nothing for the first time in my life. And I don't know how to deal with it. And we've kind of seen with people like Kanye West, to an extent, of course, outbursts where it's like, I'm going to use my power to just stick it on people, whether it be a rant. Whereas for Kanye West, it might just be a array of tweets or screenshotting text messages and posting them on Instagram. That's his way. With Ronaldo, it's, no, hey, Piers, come here. We're meeting tomorrow at 1:00. I'm telling everything to you. And then it's like, this is his way of doing that thing that Kanye probably does a lot. Or, there's something wrong with his mind. So he's just outbursting this nonsense. Because you're right, Jonny, like, he knows what he's doing. Like, he knows what he's saying is... You can't say that as a football player. You get you've been media trained since you was 17, 18. Like, you know what to say in front of a camera and what not to say. And you've basically gone through every list of what not to say and said, I'm saying that, saying that, saying that, saying that, saying that. And I'm getting these niggas too. And these niggas get us. And I'm saying, you're literally going through the rule book.
I think for me, that was the mad part.
Let me quickly read this.
Bringing everybody else in there?
Let me quickly read this article, innit? So this was the whole Jordan. And the Jordan Peterson guy, he's like, watch some of his videos still. He says some really, really like clever, interesting things. But basically, the article says, as he grows, Cristiano Ronaldo, as he goes through what can probably be considered the most difficult moment of his career, Cristiano Ronaldo decided to seek out professional help. Even though he is considered an internet celebrity, folks may not realize that Jordan Peterson is actually quite the accomplished clinical psychologist. He's published papers, blah, blah, blah. He says the published author has often been considered a right-wing propagandist, but Cristiano Ronaldo found his books very helpful. Remember we spoke earlier about the person who they're like looking for acceptance, so they kind of just go to wherever they feel accepted. It could be the whole Piers Morgan thing as well.
Yeah.
So after reading one of them, the Manchester United forward decided to invite him to his home in Manchester during Peterson's visit in the UK about 2 weeks ago. Ronaldo posted a photo of them on Instagram company. And then there's other quotes that basically saying, Jordan Peterson confirms in a show with Piers Morgan, so who's Piers Morgan, that Cristiano Ronaldo is suffering through depression and seeking therapy. He ain't the same since this, hopes he makes a comeback. But yeah, like, obviously he's gone through a lot, especially this year. Just like with his family. And maybe, you get me, reading all of this, maybe Man United could probably, if they know or they were in the know of this, done a lot more to support and give him the support he needed.
Yeah.
Do you get me?
And I think because of that, Cristiano Ronaldo
has come out and...
No, but I think because of the fact that it is Cristiano Ronaldo, it's like, your life is perfect, isn't it? Like, that's always been the perception of him, because... Of him and a lot of people. We can say about Beckham. We can say about a lot of different people in it. Like, your life's perfect because you've been up since you was a kid, and especially just the way Ronaldo's life has gone, career's gone. You play against Man United, you dubs them up, and then you get signed by them, you get mad contracts. So, of course, it's going to be hard, but then you become the best player in the world. Then you go to Real Madrid, continue. Then you go to Juventus, still keep going. Like, this is your career's incredible.
This is, I think, if that's the case, in this situation was kind of like unavoidable. Not the interview itself, but the whole like the way Cristiano Ronaldo's career has gone like recently. Whereas he's not been playing as good as you know he can be playing, or people are now looking like, "Wow, what's this? Is he's on the decline?" But we all know, especially when you're kicking ball, like if life is techie off the pitch,
it's life in you.
It's gonna affect your game.
It's hard.
You want to play football to escape it, but like your performance is gonna be affected, like whether you know it or not.
And that can definitely attack your mental health. Like,
this is the one thing that I do. Like, how many times during the day?
And I do well, and now I'm not doing it well.
Exactly. It's like, and especially when it's like you're away from your stress right now. You're in a whole different environment. You're away from all of that.
Yeah.
Man,
focus.
Still can escape it in that.
If you miss a shot, it's like, oh, don't worry about it. Like positive thinking, innit? But then you miss 2 shots, 3 shots. You're like, okay, this is what's going on there. 4 shots, get subbed. Nah, my head's gone.
Do you know, if you look at it like that, then it kind of does make sense the way why he's been acting. So maybe he's just not being himself, because everyone say Ronaldo's been known to be a diva, but he hasn't been known to like walk off the pitch and have these random like acts of like, rah, this is a bit mad.
And the same thing happened with AB. So AB, I forgot his name, but AB, he's the NFL player that he fucks with Kanye a little bit, innit? And he walked off. So he walked off, of a game. Now, he was playing really, really good. Like, he was playing really, really good, whatever. And I think, when they do like attack and defense, obviously the attack team goes on first, they do their thing, and then now when they're defending, their team comes off and the defensive team comes on. So he's off, he's on the bench right now, and apparently one of his manager says something to him, like a certain way, and he was like, what? And then the manager started flipping on him. So he just flipped and just left. And obviously the exact same way how Ronaldo left. This guy's on the bench just walking off. It's like, where's he going? He threw his shirt to the fans, he just bounced.
I beg you do this with him.
What, bring it down?
Yeah. Oh, so you can. Not you. Yeah.
Me?
Oh yeah, I forgot my one was.
No, you. If you can. Yeah.
Like this?
Yeah.
Oh no, I can't do that still. I can bring it like, can you see Kofi?
It's mad, it's always annoying.
I know, this is just a bit long.
That's cool though, that's cool. Sorry.
But yeah, so he walked off, and it goes back to that mental health thing. Some of these athletes, it's hard for us to understand them because of how successful they've become, the way they become successful. We can't understand. Like, we can understand each other. There's some similarities that we've been through. You get me? But if one of us or 2 of us go through a different path that is unreal, like 1 in a million, it's gonna be tough for us to get each other on certain things, because there's certain experiences that the man just haven't experienced. You get me? So you're not gonna understand why I feel the way I feel. So with those people, with AB, with Ronaldo, with even Chris Brown in the slightest, they've got successful and been through certain things that we just don't understand. But that doesn't mean that they don't need help. That doesn't mean that they don't need some guidance going forward. And I think with the help that Manchester United probably could have given to Ronaldo, or he felt wasn't there, was the fact that, okay, I know it sounds like I'm like moaning and you guys think I have a perfect life, but just wake up for a sec. I'm going through something mad. I'm going to need this. I'm going to need this type of help. You're going to need to provide this for me as if I'm Rashford, bro. You get me? But even on Ronaldo, I could afford anything I want. I need you to tell me, yo, okay, take some time off. You got all the time you need. Job.
Yeah, but I think that the only thing that's funny about this, and I think it's more from like the Piers Morgan side, is use me as Piers Morgan. I was going to say Piers Morgan.
Piers what?
I thought I was going to say that's
Piers
Morgan. But yeah, it's the fact that you used him, and it's like, wait, Ronaldo. I know obviously this guy is being doing certain things to come across as he's your friend and that, but you're not seeing.
He's not right.
You get me? You're not seeing that he's not that guy, pal.
But I don't think Ronaldo's right in his mind. Based on this, like, we're seeing decisions Ronaldo's making that just don't make sense. They don't align. This isn't right. He ain't right. And remember, he's probably got a lot of yes men around him as well. He's the GOAT, bro.
But Piers Morgan is that one of them yes men.
Exactly.
Like, I think one of the ways the interview started is Piers was like, "Wow, so Ronaldo, like, why did you choose to do this interview with me?" He's like, because I like you. I said, excuse me? Do you know him? Like, do you know that? But it's like one of them ones where like, but do you know what it is the also the scene of pundits as well. Like that's a whole next thing. And that's why I have to rate Rio, because Rio keeps it real. Rio is like, he's a pundit, but he's not trying to pretend like he's never lived life as a footballer. He knows the pressures and like he's gonna now like all Gary Neville. Yes, them man are very good like pundits and they give like very good analysis, but they're all moist.
Wet.
They all wet wipes, bruv. You get me? Andrex version.
And the thing is, it's sad now because now we're kind of dissecting this. I feel really sad for Ronaldo because I feel like a lot of people are taking advantage of him. And I think Piers is one of them where it's kind of like, it just shows that Ronaldo isn't there mentally, and he's purposely taken advantage of Ronaldo as much as he can by the way the interview was conducted. Do you get me? Asking him leading questions as if he's a kid. Like, oh yeah, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do this. Like, that's right, isn't it?
And
it's
that
like,
doesn't make you feel right. Happy does it?
Exactly.
Bro, he's a big man, fam. You don't need to.
He's leading him into these answers, knowing that it's going to destroy his character and destroy how people think and feel about him.
Because right now, realistically, when we look at it, cool. Ronaldo leaves Man United. There's no way back. He needs to find a new club. He wants to continue performing at the top level, as he always been saying. Yeah, he's not going to accept going to like a China or like a Chinese club, Asian club, or an American club, for example. Yeah? Even though they're going to probably afford what he wants to get paid, they're not. That's not the level he wants to be at.
Yeah.
Realistically, what club out there can you go to? Realistically, other than stay at Man United, Juventus ain't going to be able to afford him. He has to drop his salary.
But that's the only place. If he drops his salary, that's basically what you have to.
So
do
if he's willing to drop his salary, but Ronaldo is unlikely to drop unless, like, listen, that's the only. If there's no way out, this is the only club.
But Juventus, they'll have to sell someone. It's that type of trip. They'll sell 2-3 man
for Ronaldo.
Yeah, like that in them circumstances. If they're in a situation where it's like, all right.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to let someone go type shit. It will have to happen. Do you get me? Like, even if a swap deal.
Yeah. So let's say let's say that's the only option.
Yeah.
Now Ronaldo has to want to go to Juventus for this to work. But at the end of the day, this option, this act or this interview has come out, is limited his options.
Facts.
If there was a club even thinking of, you know what, let's Ronaldo come.
Especially if they're of that higher.
Yeah, they could have. They're now looking at
like PSG. Remember those talks with PSG, Ronaldo going to get PSG?
And Messi, to play together. And I was thinking,
ooh, because they're probably one of the clubs that can afford having both of them on there. Because even like Juventus, think about it, they still got Pogba. So they're still paying a lot for Pogba. But PSG will look at it like, it'll be bad for branding. Because they're obviously looking for like the brand well. Because obviously, looking at the way PSG's history's gone, they're not as big as AC Milan, Liverpool, Man United for a reason. Real Madrid and Barcelona, because their marketing's just been bad. And like, they'll get certain players, but then they'll just go. They haven't been able to market properly to masses of people. So that's what they're doing now with Neymar, Mbappe and whatnot. So and Messi, of course. So they probably look at Ronaldo now saying, no, not touching it.
Like we don't need it.
Not touching it.
So Ronaldo or football people will look at that and know like, wow, this is not going to end well for most like Ronaldo. Because at the end of the day, in 10 years' time, Ronaldo might be retired. Man United's still going to be here as a club. Do you get me? And we're going to look at him like, so all of that palaver that you created, what was it for at the end of the day? You didn't really achieve anything from it. Piers goes on like he's a football person. Like he's a football fan, big Arsenal supporter, all of that. You're looking at that thinking, you know what? If you're really his friend, like you say you are, and you're going to give him this platform, would you not put it in a way where it's not going to be so harmful to his image and his stock? Because his stock will be affected.
100%.
The only good thing that came out of this is he's come out, someone of his platform and his stature's come out and directly like added the Man United owners, the Glazers, which that was like everyone's been trying to do that, and that's the only good thing. And he really, he could have come out and done that interview and only done for a bare shade, said whatever he wanted about the Glazers, and we'd probably be happy with it because that's probably how we all feel about the Glazers. And we know that the real cause of Man United's problems is the Glazers.
That's on the top.
You get it. But now you're blaming certain people who like, bruv, they're not to blame. You get me?
That's
the manager's here to try and make things better. Maybe you say he could have supported you. That's your relationship between you and him. That's something that needs to be happening behind closed doors, in my opinion. You can go straighten that out between you two, man to man.
Straightening.
At the end of the day, you get me? but like your stock's ruined, and Piers Morgan is going to be known as the guy who facilitated that.
100, because Piers Morgan also plays that role of the label owner. So like with labels, they will have rappers talk about murders, drugs, all of these things. Like, yeah,
Hey, let's put a
that.
timestamp on that. I want to come back to that, but go on.
Yeah, run that. Like, go do your thing, because they make bread from it. Say with Piers. Piers is like, yeah, whatever you want to say. I'm gonna do lead. I don't give a fuck about Ronaldo. Do you think Ronaldo gives a fuck about me? Like, he can sit there and say that he cares, and he's well, you know, I know you don't care about me, bro. Like, I'm gonna go get this bag quick. Say what you want to say, fuck these lot. Because Piers has always been the devil, always been the guy that no one really likes. Even that time when he walked off the
morning show, Good Morning,
the morning show, like, because he didn't want to address certain things. It's like, bro, you are a prick, fam. So I don't expect anything less than him to go and be did he used to go and do that?
Did he used to be an X Factor or Britain's Got Talent?
Britain's Got Talent.
Britain's Got Talent, yeah.
But so I don't see him doing anything different other than, Ronaldo, come here, ruin your life, because again, and there's so many layers to this, and I'm someone that's able to deep so many different layers. Piers Morgan is someone that he is jealous of people like Ronaldo. So he's happy to see him on the downfall. He's happy to see someone that is who Ronaldo is, achieve what he did in the shape of his like the way he is, taking an L. Because these are the people that Piers Morgan was jealous of in school. And you get me, when he was just in his books and that, he's looking at these athletes, crazy, getting all the women, like living life, driving these fast cars, and he was a bum. Or even when he did get money, it was still hard for him to get some pussy.
He's still moist.
Do you feel me? He's still waste man, because the guy that looked good is still. I'm like, fuck. What am I supposed to? Now he's just an angry person, and that just pisses everyone off. So he's like, great, perfect. I've got this guy I could just make him my bitch right now. And make money off him and exploit him and take the piss. Because even his tweets, when he's like, oh, Ronaldo shares even more crazy stuff tonight. It's like, you're excited.
He's having fun from this.
Oh, weirdo, fam. Like, so that's another layer. That's just another.
Because Ronaldo could be coming out, and his honest approach is to listen. This is how I really feel. You get me? I got some real shit that I wanted to talk about. He's like, yo, listen, guys, breaking news, man. Listen, hey, you want to stay around your phones? 10 p.m. tonight. We dropping that heat.
Yeah, we dropping that heat. Hey, hit that bell.
Listen,
hit the subscribe button.
Hey, listen, we're gonna drop it. We're gonna break it to a three-piece series, bruv. Listen, you don't want to miss none of that.
You don't want to miss none of this. We're dropping snippets, the look. Hey, we're working around the clock. Come and get it while you can. Come and get it while it's hot.
Basically.
You get me, fam?
Basically.
And I'm like, to Ronaldo.
It's peak from
People, please don't ever get fucked. Cristiano Ronaldo is one of the greatest footballers that's ever lived. Top 3.
He's the greatest goal scorer that ever lived.
Definitely the greatest goal scorer, but one of 3 of the greatest players to ever live, and it's always going to be arguable for the rest of time. We're talking about when we're gone, 30, 40, 50 years, 60, 80, 90 years from now, they're going to talk about this guy. And Piers Morgan is sitting there talking about, come and get it while it's hot. This is crazy, guys. This is nuts, fam.
Fresh off the press, bruv.
This is, 2022 has been crazy, guys.
I also think sometimes it also starts at home as well. Like, who else can man go to confine to this? Because I always thought about myself. Pops is gone. The family's a bit divided right now, so his missus is going through what she's going through. And I used to think to myself, like, if there was a point where Messi was to go through a similar situation, right before he left Barca, that was probably one moment where man could probably do a similar thing. But again, I don't know what's going on, where maybe he's getting better support at home, internal support. And obviously Messi, we already know he's always the kind of guy that just keeps himself to himself anyway and whatnot. So you wouldn't really know what's really going on with Messi anyway, because he's just always been that kind of like to himself. So it's kind of like, what also goes on at home? Not going to say anything for itself, like what's done is done. What's out there is out there now, innit? So, boy, obviously we can dissect as much as we can and see how we see it, but football fans are still football fans, bro. Them man are still going to hate you even if you don't score a couple games.
Facts.
So just fact that they just hear what you're saying against their club is different.
I've gotten another layer. So essentially, and hear me out with this, with Messi, Messi's been born the way he is, and he's been as good as he is the way he has been. You're born with that. That's just him. He's been playing like that since he was like 12. Like, he's just been, you get me, he's just fucking up everyone. Ronaldo's had to grind. Now, everyone always says, Ronaldo's the one that worked for it, Messi's the one that was born with it. So Ronaldo is like the perfect footballer. So meaning, you see little man that's like 7 and wants to be a football player. Ronaldo was that guy. Now, he weren't that good, but he can get better and get better and get better and then become great and go pro well. All of these people that's gone pro, Ronaldo is your blueprint. He is you're in every day, in early, leave late, doing extras, doing more than everyone else, running, hitting the gym. You can become Ronaldo, so to speak. But you can never become Messi. You can't be born with, that's just ridiculous. And all these footballers that have gone through mad turmoil, mad stuff, scandals, and this, and cheating on his wife, and doing this, and fighting with his friend in the changing rooms, and fighting on the pitch, Lee Bowyer and my man that Dyer guy, like loads of scandals, right? Ronaldo is going through the worst of the worst. He lost his son, bro. Do you get? That's dark. That is dark. He lost his pops. Also dark. As well as his teams don't want him. His own team ain't playing him like that. The last thing he needs is a guy basically fucking his missus. And it's over. Scandal galore. So the guy that's got the most is also
With the most problems.
having the most problems. And it's like, I've always said this, yeah, because I remember Diddy said it. And this will be my final point on this. Because he was like, you have to be ready to pay the price to be rich. And when he said that, I'm like,
Did you say that on the Breakfast Club?
no, I don't think he said it on the Breakfast Club. Well, I heard it through his Instagram.
Okay.
And I was like, and I sat there, I said, that's a good point. Because a lot of people want to be successful.
Yeah.
But you have to be ready for what success comes, what comes of it. Like, be prepared. This shit, some of these millionaires, they go through an insane amount of things.
I don't think a lot of people actually shine a light on that, actually.
So it's very tough for you to sit there and want a certain level or want a certain income or want a certain status or whatever. Or you want X amount of businesses or X amount of ownership in this or X amount of stocks. There's X amount of whatever. You want something, you got to know what's going to come with that. And what ends up coming with that, you might not be able to handle. You might want this, but what it comes with,
yeah, it's a lot.
that might break you. That might completely finish you. And then now,
Take
what
the
you
good
wanted,
with the bad. That's the same for you.
you're gone. Do you get, what did you say?
Take the good with the bad.
Take the good with the bad.
Give
Exactly.
it some salt.
So with Ronaldo, it's like, he's, like I said, one of the greatest ever. But he is now having to deal with this in front of everyone. And he is explaining, he's just doing it all the wrong way. And he can't handle it, clearly. He can't handle being that person. Whereas, again, like, and the reason why it came into my head when Kofi speaks about Messi, it's like, maybe Messi just has a certain, well, for now anyway, we don't know what could happen later. Hopefully nothing happens. But Messi just have a certain thing around him, a certain team around him, or a certain group of people that have his best interests at heart and are able to, you get me, protect him from anything going left. Whatever he goes through, he's able to just hold it down and still get on the straight and narrow. So, yeah, it's deep. There's layers to this, guys, man. There's layers to this. There's layers to